There are currently 5 killers in Forsaken, and today I'm going to rank all of them from worst to best. Before the video starts though, I want to clarify that my opinions are mostly hot takes, if we consider public servers. But I personally think that the game gives too much importance to casual players and basically forgets about competitive ones sometimes, which is why the game is so survivor-sided. I also want to say that even if the drama about soul-driven love still gaining 25% of the revenue from Forsaken is still around, it will basically always be. And I can't waste so long just to give you guys an opinion on Forsaken, which will mostly talk about how bad casual players are, by the way. Now let's get into the video. And the worst killer in this game is... You sure weren't expecting this one coming, were you? As I said in a short around 2 months ago, Cookit is very situational and gives the survivors a chance to dodge his attacks 90% of the time. This sounds fair, but it really just means that you could corner someone, still miss and lose the chase because they used 5 stamina. He's fast on paper, but his walk speed completely destroys him, making him rely on his mid abilities. Speaking of his abilities, walk speed override is just ass. If you miss it, you lose the chase and probably the entire round. And if you hit it, the knockback is so insane, it basically does the same thing as missing but also deals damage. At this point, why does it even deal damage at all if it isn't even worth it? The only thing he has going for him are his minions that can shut down a loop or help cornering survivors. But if the player is competent, they'll just move to another looping spot and now you're cooked. Oh, and didn't mention that he doesn't have any ESP ability. Hiding works perfectly against him and wastes so much time. So yeah, Cookit is really bad. Now it's time for the second worst killer, pretty obviously being... Okay, this time it was easy to guess. Slasher gets annihilated by teamwork. After the Raging Pace buff, he's now almost unloopable in a 1v1 scenario. Except that's like never going to happen against competent players. All of his abilities are a free stun, especially for Guest, who can block every single one easily. Not to mention that any support character will just destroy the only things he has going for him. A fast burst of damage and his speed. So the question is, why did I rank him higher than Cookit? Well, Slasher can still work around his weaknesses. He can use Behead to get rid of a sentinel who's trying to find an opening to stun him, or he can use Raging Pace to negate any lost distance, if it's not why he has lost all of that distance in the first place. But Cookit can just pray the survivors don't dodge his abilities. He can't do anything about it. We are now in the middle of the... Wait, I need you to see something. These guys generally ruined my day by being the most toxic people I have ever met. Just look at their entire playstyle. They just looped me for the entire round and charged at me, making me fall into the lower floor like 5 times. And one of them was constantly dancing too. Devs, if you're watching this, please ban them, especially the one who was emoting. They should not be able to play this game if that's their entire strategy. Oh, and by the way, they did this in like every single other round. Why are they even playing the game like this? Like, what's the fucking point? Okay, what was I talking about? Oh yeah, the ranking. It's time for the killer in the middle of the tier list, which is... I made this entire video just to talk about this guy right here. People overrate him way too much. He's not broken at all, he's actually pretty bad. People say that his abilities are way too strong and barely punish him for missing. But here's the thing. If he doesn't hit them, he literally can't catch up. That's the punishment. If he doesn't hit entanglement, he's unable to catch up to his insanely low speed. Even if you try to use it when the survivor has no stamina, you're probably going to have low stamina too, so you will barely catch up. He literally loses distance over time instead of gaining it like every other killer. Except for a certain one that we're going to talk about later. Well, at least his abilities are easy to hit, right? No. You have to pray that the survivor isn't smart enough to dodge them in time. And this is if you manage to predict how they were going to dodge. You're basically gambling hoping the survivor is stupid. And if they aren't, well, get ready to be more luck based than the guy named after the thing that gambling is based on. The one ability that is actually good is Rejuvenate Rotten, but that's if you kill the survivor in spots where the survivors actually go and if the minions didn't already walk to the other side of the map. In the end though, 1x can cook. It's just that against good players, he's basically completely luck based. So if you win, you just got insanely lucky. But there will be times where you don't even hit someone once. So, we're at the top 2. But first, let's talk about our sponsor! Oh wait, I'm the sponsor? Oh, well, I guess it makes sense since I'm a small content creator that you should totally subscribe to because I'm decently cool. So, I'm working on an asymmetrical horror game similar to Forsaken and Killer Chase 2 called Desperatis. It's completely based on OCs and yours could be in the game too. Just join the Discord server linked in the description and submit your character, or you can just join to stay updated on the development. You choose. We also need a ton of people like animators, voice actors, programmers, etc. I can't wait to share more about this game with you all, but for now that's all I've got. Back to the ranking. So, the 2 killers left are Noli and John Doe, 2 really cool killers, but only one is the best, and it's the one that is simply able to leave you with no chance of survival sometimes. He can quickly close the gap in a chase and can corner you until you die. He can attack you out of nowhere and finish you off in 30 seconds. The best killer in the game is not Noli. Noli is the second best killer. I think that, just like 1x, he's way too overrated. His abilities can do a lot in a chase, but there are 2 massive flaws in his kit. 1, he completely relies on his abilities to catch up because of how slow he is, just like 1x. And 2, he is able to close big gaps with Void Rush and small ones with Nova, but big gaps are almost impossible to close as him. This is because at a fair amount of distance, the survivor has enough time to dodge Void Rush and Nova, making them almost pointless to use. Void Rush is also insanely easy to counter because all you need is a wall. Seriously, that's it. Which is also why chaining Void Rush is hard if the survivors have a brain. This makes him really easy to loop. He's easier to loop than 1x, who only has unstable eye, just to give you an idea. People also complain about Observant being too strong as it covers so much distance without requiring any stamina, but that's if you're close to a generator, which is just you being stupid at this point. And the hallucinations do literally nothing unless you use your brain like a basketball regularly. His damage output can be fast and powerful, but he lacks ways to close mid gaps and sucks against looping, making him the second best killer just because every single other killer is bad. And we're finally at the top 1, that you probably know by now, do you? John Doe is a powerhouse if used right. Stuns can't affect him, same with looping, he's simply uncounterable if used right. He can use his spikes mid-chase to close any distance along with using them to corner survivors or completely ruin a looping spot. If someone steps on his digital footprint, you get a free kill 90% of the time, and the only counter is to just sit there and wait for almost 3 minutes for it to disappear. And about stuns not affecting him, I kinda lied there. They do affect him, but many times in a good way, as he can just parry with 404 Error or Corrupt Energy for some guaranteed hits. He can be quite slow, but since he can trap people, it doesn't really matter. And before you say in the comments, no, I am not glazing John Doe, because he does have one huge flaw. He's really map dependent. If you get an open map like Planet Boss or your resting place, then winning is going to be really hard against good players because you will barely be able to trap anyone and or corner them, making you rely on a rushdown playstyle to confirm kills, which is just a bad idea. This is the entire ranking, and I know for a fact that if you just skip to this part, you're about to write an entire essay about how OP 1x and Noli are. But after all, who cares? You're most likely a casual player who has never gone against a good player before. Well, that's the end of the video. Remember to check out the Discord server for my awesome game in the description. I hope you liked my weird hot takes, and yeah, see you next time. Okay, I love this outro too much to not use it. Bye!